just maybe shut up and sing. That should have been the advice to one of the members of the Tragically Hip when he decided to go after Pierre Poilievre for using their music at one of his events. Hello, I'm Adrienne Batra. With me are Jamil, Jivani, and Brian Lilley. Brian, we've seen this movie before when a conservative leaning or Republican leaning politician uses music by some artist. They get all upset, they get angry. But in this instance, with the Tragically Hip and the Conservative Party, it's the hip that has lost its mojo.
Yeah, because what they did was that people started tweeting. Pierre Poilievre was in Hamilton, Ontario, this place called the Grand Olympian banquet hall. I've been to events there before. They were playing music in the background. It wasn't the music to bring Poilievre up. He's not using it as a campaign song. It was playing in the background ahead of the event, and people tweeted at the Hip and said, "Oh, have you given them permission?" And Langlois, Paul Langlois from the Hip, jumps in, makes these comments, then has to walk it back. Why? Because this event space, like all major event spaces, charges a SOCAN fee, which is the fee that you pay musicians for using their music. He's not using it as a campaign song, so the Hip ended up with egg on their face. But also just really stupid when you think of where the Hip is popular, the number of times they sing about the prairies, and how do they vote on the prairies? Conservative. Where do they vote where the Hip is popular? Often conservative. They had to know that a bunch of their backers, a bunch of their supporters would also be supporters of Pierre Poilievre. They should have just sat this one out. This was an own goal. This was a mistake.
Jamil, we see it a lot down south in the United States. At a Democratic convention, you see all the A-list celebrities, the big names, the Jay-Z's and the Beyoncés singing at the White House for Barack Obama, the big ones, going and singing for at the White House, say for Joe Biden. But at the Republican conventions, for example, you usually see more country music stars, more that are part of maybe the Republican base, those that support that kind of music. Not dissimilar here in Canada. So this example to me just sort of exemplifies not only that everything has become so polarized and partisan that we can't even listen to music without fighting with one another.
You're absolutely right, Adrian. I mean, this is what left-wing activists want. They want every part of our lives to be political. We cannot enjoy anything. We cannot depoliticize anything. We cannot have anything in common. They would like to make every single aspect of life some kind of political battle, some kind of political expression. It's very unhealthy. Canadians don't want that. Look at what's happened in the United States. They talk about things like national divorce down there, stuff that is completely unhealthy for a democracy. And it's because of this type of stuff where everyone feels like you've got to pick a side and then you live your whole life in the confines of political debate. We don't have that problem in Canada yet. And if we got to push back on these left-wing activists to make sure we don't have it. So this was not just a victory for the right-leaning or centrist or conservative Tragically Hip fans. It was not just a victory for Pierre Poilievre. It was a victory for Canada to push back on these divisive activists.
Maybe the Hip should check the memo next time they decide to wade into the world of politics. Log on to Facebook and Twitter, let us know what you think, and go to thetorontosun.com and hit that subscribe button. You're going to find more coverage on stories like this and others you will not find anywhere else.